What's going on, NBA fanatics? This is your friendly neighborhood Memphis Grizzly homer, Memphis X, and I talk hoops. Today, we are talking about Jaren Jackson closing the door on Joel Embiid at the Philadelphia 76ers, and Ja Morant and Jaden Ivey's first meeting as pros. But first, every hero needs their theme music.
Piano.
Grizz gang, go hard. Baddest in the game, we be on one. I talk hoops so secure. All up on the court, but we gon' score. Memphis bringing heat straight from Tennessee. Demorant spiking, let's go, boy. He that MVP.
Well, the game that will not be named is behind us, and the Grizzlies are fresh off of a 117-109 win at home against the Philadelphia 76ers and potential MVP, the guy who finished second the last 2 years, Joel Embiid, a guy who the Grizzlies seemingly had defended well, and he still ended up with 35, 11, and 8 with 3 blocks. And yeah, they defended him well. That's just how good he is. But as good as Joel Embiid is, the Grizzlies have the block Panther.
Embiid drives. Oh, what a block by Jaren! Holy cow, the defensive gem of the year!
And the Black Panther put an exclamation point on this victory with his end-of-the-game block, Joel Embiid's dunk attempt. And to me, it has been the best play of the season so far, and it encapsulates everything that Jaren Jackson Jr. has become as a player over his career with the Grizzlies. Now, all of us can admit Jaren Jackson Jr. has been a frustrating player in Memphis. Frustrating. From the injuries, the foul trouble, the inconsistent offense, it's just all been frustrating. But the one thing that we had to hold on to is that Jaren Jackson Jr. had consistently shown flashes throughout his career. Now, there were flashes of different things. When he was a rookie, he flashed his post game. During his first summer league season, he flashed his three-point shooting. Then the injuries came. Then he flashed three-point shooting again. And then he got injured again. And then he came back and he flashed the elite defense, making first-team all-defense. And then he came into this season injured. And now it seems that he's put it all together. The shooting, the post play, the drive game, the defense, the rim protection, everything seems to be clicking. And even the foul rate is down a bit. Jaren Jackson Jr. is playing the best basketball of his career, and he's still just a baby in NBA terms. A baby in NBA terms. I mean, Jaren Jackson Jr. is only, 23 years old? And to put that into some kind of perspective, just for you guys that, want to know, he is about a year older than Sacramento Kings rookie Keegan Murray. This is what we're talking about. Keegan Murray, who was the 4th pick in the last draft, is a year younger than Jaren Jackson, who was the 4th pick many moons ago. And this is the value of drafting young players with talent and a good work ethic. Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to pay off in just spades for the Grizzlies. And I remember telling you guys that any contract they get Jaren Jackson Jr. on under the max is gravy. And I said I prefer to get him at the max just so the fact that you can have him locked up for the full 5 years. And people were like, you're crazy, X. You're crazy, X. Give Jaren Jackson the max. And I'll tell you what, that 5th year, once it comes down to when he's a free agent, if they don't change the rules for contract extensions in the next CBA, you're going to wish you had Jaren Jackson Jr. under contract for that 5th year under this CBA, under this salary cap. It would have been nothing. It'd have been expensive now, but it'd have been nothing later. And later is when it's going to be greater. But as the saying goes, we have Jaren Jackson at a bargain basement contract right now, and his play has been outstanding. This game, as you can see by the box score, Jaren Jackson Jr. lit it up. 7 of 12 from the field, 2 of 5 from the three-point line, 6 of 7 from the free throw line. And that's something that we cannot emphasize enough. Jaren Jackson being a good free throw shooter to put out there in elite closing lineups. It's going to pay out big dividends. 9 rebounds, 3 of them offensive, 4 big blocks, 1 steal. He did have 5 fouls, and he scored 22 points, and he did all of this in 26 minutes. Yes, Jaren Jackson Jr. has been a dominant player since he's been back. Just dominant. Now, the one thing that we have to take into account is how this has come about. Now, we want to look at his numbers for the year. And, he has been on a limited minutes restriction because of the injury. But when we parse those numbers out over 36 minutes, which is about average for an NBA starter, Jaren Jackson is averaging 26.6 points per game, 10 rebounds, 4.4 blocks, 1.4 steals, and he is shooting 48% from the field, only 31% from three-point line, but that's coming up, and 79% from the free throw line. 26 and 10, people, with 4.4 blocks. It don't get no more elite than that. Jaren Jackson has been a godsend. Now, for the rest of the Grizzlies, of course, Ja Morant had 20 points at halftime. Kind of put it in cruise control, but he ended up with 20 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Steven Adams had a masterful game against Philadelphia. 9 points, 6 assists, 16 rebounds, 10 of them offensive, 3 big blocks. Our bigs just had a dominating game. Santi Aldama, 13 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 more blocks, 2 of 5 from three-point line, 5 of 6 from the free throw line. People, you got Jaren Jackson is 23. Santi Aldama is 21. That combination, as Santi Aldama gets stronger and stronger and more adept on defense, the combination of the shooting and rim protection of Jaren Jackson and Santi Aldama, 2 and 3 and 4 years down the line when Steven Adams is kind of gets phased out. That combination of 2 7-footers that skilled is going to be crazy. John Conchar, 2 3-pointers, 2 of 4 from the field, 8 points, 6 rebounds, doing his job. Multiple 3-pointers and rebounding. That's his job. Dillon Brooks, 7 of 16 from the field, 1 of 3 from three-point line, 4 rebounds, another 4 assist game, 1 steal, plus 8 again. Of course, he didn't lead the team because the bench led the team in plus minus, but he led all starters as he was the only starter that was positive for the game at plus 8, and he had 17 points. This game was a good showing by not only Jaren Jackson, Ja Morant, but the rest of the Grizzlies, and of course, Desmond Bane and Zaire Williams are on the way. I would say a week out from now, next weekend, hopefully they are back in Grizzlies uniform. Now, today's game is going to be at 5 p.m. Central Time. It is, it's a Sunday game. The Grizzlies have been doing the Friday, Sunday thing, and they've been usually they're undefeated on Friday, but they've been subjected to some duds on Sunday. So hopefully we can get off this snide because the Grizzlies really need to make a run. The Western Conference is kind of jumbled up. And, with the Western Conference jumbled up, the teams that get hot, that can have a good 2-week run of wins, going something like 6-1, 7-0, or anything like that, these teams are going to be able to make hay in the West because everybody's so jumbled up. When you have a soft spot in your schedule, either with a lot of home games or a lot of suboptimal opponents, you have to take advantage. And that's what the Grizzlies need to do. They play Detroit, and then they got a rough game when they came back against Miami, who is already in Memphis as we speak. So it's going to be like they're the road team coming in because they play Miami on Monday night, and Miami is already here. So it's going to be the second night of a back-to-back for the Grizzlies while Miami is in Memphis resting. So, listen, we need to get this one tonight. And it's going to be the first official game that Jaden Ivey and Ja Morant have played. And everybody, all Grizzlies fans know, Jaden Ivey basically patterned his game after Ja Morant. Even got the Ja Morant hairstyle and everything. He was, of course, his mother, Neil Ivey, who was my pick, who I really wanted to stay with the Grizzlies. I attributed a lot of our early success to her scouting. And it wasn't just me. The Grizzlies players said the same thing also, but she's at our alma mater coaching. So, Jaden Ivey, Ja Morant, it should be fun. I know Jaden Ivey is going to be hyped up, and we all know when young players get hyped up, you either get one or two things. You either get the scintillating, crazy Hall of Fame level performance, or they throw in a real big dud and really struggle, and you never know what you're going to get that first game against somebody's idol. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to Jaden Ivey checking Ja Morant. Should be a fun game. And I'm looking forward to Jaren Jackson Jr. facing Jalen Duren. It's going to be fun, man. A lot of Memphis ties in this game. It's going to be a fun matchup. Maybe? Nah, I don't think I'll live stream this one, or I'll just watch this one and enjoy it. Peace, guys.